Our favorite sci-fi movies always feature spaceships that look stunning, but reality always disappoints us. Space travelers face cramped spaces and minimal amenities. However, Elon Musk's SpaceX with its Starship has seriously decided to change this. The ship is the embodiment of humanity's wildest dreams. What will its interior look like, and when will we finally be able to conquer Mars in it? You will learn all of this and much more in our today's video. What does the SpaceX Starship look like inside? Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see even more interesting content.
1, 0, all engine running.
In all the history of space exploration, the Saturn V rocket, which flew to the moon, proudly held the title of the largest rocket. It was unrivaled until the Starship appeared. This giant consists of two parts: the booster, which is the 71-meter SpaceX Super Heavy rocket, and the 50.3-meter Starship. When assembled, the entire structure stands at 121 meters. That's 398 feet tall. That's 10 meters taller than the Saturn V rocket and almost 30 meters taller than the Statue of Liberty, including its pedestal. The rocket's diameter is 9 meters, 30 feet. For comparison, the diameter of the usual SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is only 3.7 meters, 12 feet. The fully fueled tandem of Super Heavy and Starship weighs approximately 5,000 tons. That's more than 100 Boeing 737 planes, together with passengers and luggage. So what kind of engine is needed to lift such a huge weight into the air? Well, it certainly wouldn't just be one engine. In fact, the Super Heavy rocket is equipped with a whopping 33 Raptor engines, also designed by SpaceX, and that is just the rocket, as the Starship itself has 6 additional engines, 3 larger ones for flights in space vacuum, and 3 smaller ones for taking off and landing in the atmosphere. The fuel used is a mixture of methane and oxygen, and that's no accident. This is designed with the future in mind. Both of these components can be extracted from Mars's atmosphere. In terms of structure, the Starship is one continuous innovation. To reiterate, nothing like this has existed before. But in addition to engineering marvels, we shouldn't forget about another ambitious plan of Elon Musk. Starship will not just be a ship that can reach Mars, but one that can do so while ensuring maximum comfort. And there's more to it than just words. SpaceX has already proven with outstanding persuasiveness that space flights can really look like what we've seen in the most idealistic sci-fi movies. Take a look at the conditions in the Russian Soyuz spacecraft. The Space Shuttle cabin had somewhat better conditions. But the Space Shuttle program is closed, and for a while, it was unclear whether there would ever be a worthy match. But it has been found. Its name is Dragon 2, in the crude version of Crew Dragon, a reusable spacecraft created by Elon Musk's company. Here's what it looks like on the outside, and here's what it looks like inside with the crew. A lot of space, visual appeal, comfort, and futuristic aesthetics. All of this is as close to sci-fi as possible, and it already works. Since 2020, the Crew Dragon series of ships have made a total of 7 manned flights to the ISS and even carried civilian space tourists. And this doesn't include cargo missions. So, the Starship, with its full height of 121 meters, is about 14 times larger than Crew Dragon, which is just a tiny 8.1 meters. In fact, any other spacecraft that people have ever flown on, whether to orbit or even to the moon, looks like a bug compared to Starship. Just take a look. The interior concept of the ship is still being developed, but even preliminary presentations give an idea what it will be. And it is, to put it mildly, impressive. Since we mentioned Crew Dragon and noted that it seems to have come out of a sci-fi movie, we can't help but say that things will be much cooler in the case of Starship. No, unfortunately, it's naive to expect luxurious apartments like on the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. But it will still be much better than even Crew Dragon. And here comes the immediate question. How many people will be comfortable on a long flight in Starship? The declared specifications, in all seriousness, include the figure of 100 people. Technically, this might be possible, but certainly not on the first phase. Let us remind you that from the crew's perspective, a flight to Mars means at least 6 months spent in a metal box, airtight like a can. Any reasonable person would want this can to be more spacious. But here, it's important to maintain a balance. If there are too many people, a lack of personal space will lead to tension between crew members. But if the crew is too small, there'll also be problems because people may quickly get sick of each other. This is a serious issue, and ISS crews are already selected with psychological compatibility in mind. Most specialists agree that 10 people is roughly the optimal number of crew members for such a long flight, even on a large ship like Starship. Elon Musk will surely be disappointed, but all evidence suggests that 100 people is really a bad idea. Now imagine that we are part of the crew traveling to Mars. Let's see what awaits us and where we'll live. Okay, let's go through the internal structure of Starship, starting from the bottom. At the very bottom are the engines, above them the fuel tanks and all the main equipment. This takes up about half the volume of the ship. So the 50 meters of Starship's length, about 25 meters, are left for us. However, according to some worst-case estimates, the usable part of the ship will be around 17 meters long. These figures don't seem too far-fetched. In fact, this is about the length of an average residential building. Starship will actually have several floors inside. There'll be at least 6 levels. Even in the worst-case scenario, where we'll have only 17 meters at our disposal, the ceiling height will be about 2.8 meters. This is quite normal even for a regular person living in the city, and for a modern space traveler, this is a dream come true. So let's start with the first, lowest level. Here we'll most likely have the cargo bay where all the equipment, including the habitable Mars rover, will be stored. There'll also be all the life support systems and other heavy equipment. The second level is a place where food supplies, medicines and other household consumables would probably be stored. Some even suggest an idea to make a hydroponic garden on this level to grow live greenery. If we manage to grow something on a spaceship, there's a chance we could one day do it on Mars. The third level can be fully equipped as a gym and bathroom. This is absolutely essential for astronauts. Even on the ISS, there are large strength training machines, and their sizes are impressive. Considering how valuable every kilogram delivered into orbit is, rest assured this huge machine was brought here for a reason. Without such training in zero gravity, a person will very quickly suffer muscle atrophy, as well as bone thinning and degradation. Unfortunately, it won't be possible to take a shower after such a workout. Not just because one needs to save water, although that's also the case, but because water doesn't flow in zero gravity. Thus, astronauts will have to make do with wiping down with wet towels and using dry shampoo to wash their hair. Indeed, such shampoos are specifically made for astronauts and other professionals working in extreme conditions. The same goes for the toilet. Orbital toilet designs are constantly being improved, although there's little room for engineering creativity in zero-gravity conditions. But for Starship, they promised to come up with something even newer and more convenient than on the ISS or Crew Dragon. The fourth level will include the rest areas. Something like a bedroom, but which will still provide a separate space for each crew member. Most likely it will be done based on the capsule hostel principle. They first appeared in Japan and were later adopted by some other countries. The fifth level would be an excellent place for common use. A sort of hall to hang out together, look at the stars and stretch out by floating from one wall to the other. Perhaps this is where the largest observation window will be. At least, even in the official designs, there are windows placed in a semicircle closer to the nose of the Starship. It's just like scenes from our favorite sci-fi movies, right? Because of the tapering of the Starship's cone, the sixth level will be significantly smaller than the lower levels, making it an optimal space for the command deck. This both makes sense and looks like from a movie. We're used to seeing the captain's bridge at the front of the spaceship, even though it can be anywhere. This comes from maritime traditions, much like the terminology. After all, we call spacecraft ships, even though they have virtually nothing in common with sea vessels. All levels will be connected by something resembling an elevator, but without a lifting mechanism. In fact, it will be a hollow column in the form of a hole that goes through all the floors. In zero gravity, astronauts will simply fly through this makeshift tube, easily reaching the desired floor. And stairs can be used when Starship lands on the Moon or Mars. Well, all this looks quite impressive, but by and large, there's nothing entirely fantastical about it. Challenging, yes. Unrealistic, no. But the question remains, what will power all of this? Literally, where will the energy come from for all these life support systems, electronics, and so on? The first obvious energy source is solar panels. Solar energy is quite suitable for flights from Earth to Mars, although it may be insufficient for Starship's energy-intensive systems. Elon Musk also proposes using Powerwall battery packs. Solar panels can charge them, providing energy for all systems. However, these packs are quite heavy, which creates an issue for space flights. The most promising option remains hydrogen fuel cells, which convert hydrogen into electricity and produce water. This technology was already used in the Apollo missions. One only needs to maximize its efficiency for long flights. In any case, whatever the energy challenges on board Starship may be, they seem quite solvable. Of course, all of this is very intriguing, but isn't it time we got the answer to the most pressing question? How this miracle will be implemented? Are these starships even being built? They certainly are. Moreover, they're already flying, at least they're trying to. As of July 2024, 4 test launches of the complete set, the Super Heavy rocket with the Starship, have already been performed, and each one has been better than the previous one. During the 4th test launch, the Starship was able to successfully separate from the Super Heavy rocket, reach orbit, make a loop, and even perform a flip maneuver for vertical landing. And the first stage successfully landed, fired its engines, and, as planned, descended into the ocean. So, progress is indeed here. Who knows, maybe right now, in one of SpaceX's workshops, workers are welding the hull of the ship for travel to Mars. And maybe you, personally, will travel on it as a regular tourist.